JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. 5-vehicle crash leaves several injured. Several people were injured following a 5-vehicle collision on Maxfield Avenue in St. Andrew on Saturday morning. The crash occurred at the intersection of Gem Road and Fitzgerald Avenue and involved a Honda Civic, a Toyota Probox, a Toyota Caldino, a Honda Stream, and a cesspool truck.
Yeah, boss.
History, my friend, don't pitch club down here when I want to. That's a something.
That's what I want to understand.
Constable charged. The Kingston Western Police have laid charges against the district constable caught smuggling contraband into the maximum security Horizon Adult Remand Center. 25-year-old Constable Robert Campbell has been charged with dealing in ganja and bringing prohibited article into a correctional center. The district constable, who is attached to the Detention and Courts Division, was charged following a ruling by the Director of Public Prosecutions. Investigators reported that on Friday, February 21, at about 7 a.m., Constable Campbell was at work when a small parcel fell from his pocket. He reportedly stepped on the item, and this arose the suspicion of his supervisor. The object was retrieved by his supervisor and found to be vegetable matter resembling ganja. His knapsack was searched in his presence, and the several parcels containing vegetable matter resembling ganja, some resembling tobacco, a USB cable, and the $20,000 in cash were found. A pack of rolling paper and a light were also allegedly found. Constable Campbell was taken into custody, and a file was prepared and submitted to the office of the DPP. Kingston Western cops make arrest in 2023 murder. Continuous investigative work by the Kingston Western Police has resulted in a man being arrested and charged for a murder committed more than a year ago. On Friday, detectives from the division snapped 25-year-old Ryan McFarlane, otherwise called Engine, from Oxford Street, Kingston, with several charges. McFarlane is charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and making use of a firearm to commit a felony. He was charged for the killing of 31-year-old Christopher Taylor of Woodrow Street in Jonestown, Kingston 12. Taylor was shot dead at the intersection of North and Oxford Streets, Kingston, on October 12, 2023. Reports are that around 1:54 a.m., Taylor was standing at the intersection when he was pounced upon by several men armed with guns. The men opened fire, hitting him in the upper body before escaping on foot along Oxford Street. Taylor was transported to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. Following investigations, McFarlane was taken into custody by the police on Saturday. He was placed on an identification parade on Wednesday and was positively identified. He was later charged following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. American man held in Old Harbour for overstaying turns out to be fugitive, court told. The St. Catherine Parish Court on Friday heard that an American man charged with overstaying in Jamaica is wanted in the United States on shooting charges. When 28-year-old Said Singh appeared in court, it was revealed that a warrant had been issued for his arrest. A representative from the United States Embassy acknowledged the offense. Parish Court Judge Yvette Wenthrop Miller remanded Singh until March 4 to facilitate the appearance of a representative from the Passport, Immigration and the Citizenship Agency. Allegations are that on Monday, February 24, police operatives assigned to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations branch CTOC conducted an operation on Old Harbour Road in St. Catherine. During the operation, Singh was observed washing motor vehicles. He was accosted, and checks revealed that he had been in Jamaica for more than 12 months, exceeding the time allowed in the country. He was subsequently charged for overstaying his time. St. James man charged with attempted murder of police in Florida. A Jamaican man is facing 2 charges of attempting to murder a police officer in Lauderhill, Florida, following a shooting incident on February 12. charges 32-year-old Reese Anglin from Montego Bay, St. James. Anglin was charged after being on the run for 2 days. Reports from the Broad Sheriff's Office, BSO Homicide Unit, are Anglin was arrested on Valentine's Day by Tampa Police. According to investigators, around 6 p.m. on February 12, members of the BSO Gang Investigation Task Force were conducting an operation at the Calypso Key Apartments in the 4100 block of Northwest 21st Street in Lauderhill. Reports are during the operation, Anglin and Tafari Elliott confronted 2 members of law enforcement. The police reportedly drew their weapons and identified themselves, but a shootout ensued. Elliott was reportedly struck and he fled. Anglin also fled. Elliott was reportedly found in the apartment complex and detained. He was given medical treatment at the scene before being transported to hospital. Elliott is also facing 2 charges of attempted murder for law enforcement officer. Several guns were seized. Neither law enforcement officer was injured. Jamaican man arrested in connection with $2 million marijuana seizure. A man believed to be a Jamaican national has been arrested in connection with the seizure of 720 pounds of marijuana and 440 pounds of marijuana gummies in the United States. The estimated street value of the drugs is almost $2 million or over 300 million Jamaican dollars. According to reports out of the U.S., 31-year-old Jermaine Barrett was arrested by the Pontotoc County Sheriff's Department in Mississippi on February 24. Sheriffs near Sherman in Pontotoc County were reportedly conducting a routine traffic stop when the vehicle Barrett was driving was pulled over. Sheriffs reportedly smelled marijuana prompting the search that led to the seizure of the drugs and the 26,500 marijuana-infused gummies. Barrett is reportedly living in the United States on a work visa. The drugs are believed to have originated in California and were on the way to North Carolina. Holness reaffirms commitment to Portmore's parish status. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has reaffirmed the government's commitment to Portmore's transition into Jamaica's 15th parish, emphasizing that significant infrastructure investments are already underway to support its growth. During a tour of the multi-million-dollar road expansion along the Grangel and Passage Fort corridor, Holness expressed satisfaction with the quality of work.
For Portmore, the asset that they have here is a strong people base. It's a human resource that Portmore has. And so Portmore can become the kind of technology hub and service hub of the entire Jamaica. But it needs that kind of local guidance and local focus. Unfortunately, some of our local governments are very parochial, to use the term in that form. And what we need them to think is to rise above petty parochial issues and start to focus on a new dimension of how they can elevate people. If they don't want to do it, then I'm certain that the people of Portmore will, and we will create the opportunity for them to do so.
Prime Minister, other than the...
As it relates to the lack of consultation when these sort of projects are being undertaken.
You have used the appropriate term, noise, because there is no truth to that. This discussion started long ago. I am certain that there was consultations held, several, and I myself went on a campaign where I visited several churches, held several meetings and explained to persons, and when the first set of noise was raised, when we were having the local government elections, when we were ready to go, I deliberately delayed because I did not want to move to a parish to be in any way brought into a political challenge, and that is where we are now. So it doesn't really matter what it is clear that the opposition would oppose it. I make one statement for your consideration. In life, there are 2 types of people. Those that make things happen and those that prevent things from happening. Jamaica can see who are the people making things happen and who are the people who are either incapable or deliberately trying to prevent things from happening. This park is a perfect example. This park in which we are standing was proposed many years ago, including promises made by the now opposition that they would do it. They never did. There is only really one government that is capable of doing things, making it happen, And we are standing here on a 3-story building, which is evidence of us doing things, whilst there are those trying to prevent things like this from happening.
Minister, could you speak about the work of the UDC facilitating major projects like this?
Well, the UDC has been a sleeping giant for many years. The UDC has special legislation which gives it powers to develop particular areas for urban purposes. They have a land bank and they have the requisite staff and human resources to develop that land bank. But over the years, with the state of the economy, the financial wherewithal to do this was not possible. My administration has found a new method of getting things done, and that is the partnership between the private sector and government. So we have literally given a directive to the UDC that they should partner with the private sector by making certain assets in their land bank available via a competitive process. So that is one way in which the UDC is now supporting development by the divestment of certain assets in their land bank. Secondly, the UDC is using its tremendous technical and engineering and architectural resources to develop and manage projects like these, which are partially funded from the consolidated fund, but importantly, funded from its own internal resources. And where are these resources coming from? They are coming from revenues, from attractions and other businesses that they operate, but it is also coming from the divestment of resources. So the divestment of assets bring in resources which are then used to create other assets like these that will generate a new revenue stream for the UDC, which will then be used to fund other projects. So the UDC is coming alive, and you're going to see many more projects like this. You know, Harmony Park has transformed Montego Bay, literally. When you go there and you see the energy, it's transformational. I expect no less of this park, and in the coming budget you will hear some announcements of other parks for which we expect the UDC to play a role. But the UDC has several projects that it is now undertaking, and stay tuned for the budget debate and you will hear some very exciting things about the UDC.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.